Gracious God, grant us to seek the truth, cost what it may, come whence it may, cost what it will. Amen. I want to share with you that on Saturday, our youth were in the church making clay crosses. Jelaine did a fantastic job teaching them through art to express their thoughts, their faith, their creativity. In the middle of making beautiful art, one of the youth asked me this question. My mom told me that the cross was a tool of torture. So why would we wear it around our necks and have it at church? How many of you have asked yourselves that question? I remember the first time I wrestled with that question. What would it be like if we were wearing electric chairs on our necks and put a big one on the altar? Big electric chair. It's absurd. It is absurd that we would do something like that. Why on earth would we do something like that? Keep that question in mind. Our observance of Holy Week hinges. Today is a turning point. It's a hinge. What in English is called Good Friday. I'm still trying to figure out why you labeled it Good Friday. It's Holy Friday in Spanish. All the things that we've been practicing have been leading us to this day, the day we remember that Jesus of Nazareth was nailed to a cross by Roman soldiers to die a cruel death. We recall today the details, starting with the betrayal by a close friend, a follower, the trials by the religious and the civic leaders of his culture, how they conspired to send him to the Roman governor to have him executed. Today we remember the mockery that went along with this spectacle, announcing him as King of the Jews, taking his possessions right in front of him and gambling over them, giving him sour wine when he was thirsty. And even after they knew he was dead, they pierced his side. Human cruelty are front and center in the story of Good Friday. Why on earth do we venerate the cross? Now, artists have found many ways to depict the cross. Beautiful, creative, and touching depictions. We have beautiful crosses. We have a cross that represents our church community that many of you have. And yet, the beauty, the uniqueness doesn't take the place, doesn't take away the harsh, painful, and cruel truth associated with the cross. If you would like an answer from me, a perfect one, about why we should venerate the cross, I don't have it. Maybe I should, but I don't. Here's my invitation for you today. Here's my invitation. I find the cross a much needed reminder that Jesus knew incredible pain and was not deterred by it. Am I not to drink the cup the Father has given me? When we would much rather run away from the painful parts of life, rejection, unexplainable illness, injustice, the cross reminds us that Jesus faced such things and remained firm in his commitment. I find the cross a much needed reminder that human cruelty is real, that we, all of us, can cause so much pain to one another and to the whole of creation. And the very Son of God was not exempt from human cruelty. Human beings can make choices, and often we choose to execute innocent people and damage the creatures of the environment on a regular basis for the sake of profit, financial, political, or social profit, for the sake of power. I find the cross a much needed reminder that in the face of pain and human cruelty, Jesus stayed true to the message. God's saving love for all people is boundless. From the cross, we hear the words, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." Woman, here is your son. Here is your mother. You will not be alone. I assure you today that you will be with me in paradise. The cross reminds us that to the very end, Jesus stayed true to these messages. 2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire crucified love in order to hold on to power. The religious and the civic leaders went along with it out of fear, out of jealousy, out of misunderstanding. But friends, love continues to be crucified today. Thousands of children have been killed in conflict zones, in the Middle East, in North Africa, in Eastern Europe, for the sake of political and economic and social power. Thousands of people are dying in this country because access to quality health care is not equal for all. And we refuse to solve the crisis so that this party can blame the other one for it. And then they can access political and economic and social power. Thousands of people are being scapegoated for fear-mongering. People who are verbally and physically abused, persecuted, and kidnapped because of their gender, or their sexuality, or their race, or their ethnicity. All for the sake of political and economic and social power. Friends, thousands are gunned down from schools and university classrooms, in grocery stores, in movie theaters, in churches. And we refuse to find a solution. The cross reminds us that to the very end, Jesus experienced the cruelty of human beings and human systems. And to the very end, he stood up for truth and love, to challenge the desire for power. It is a tradition in our church on this day to come close to the cross. The acolytes will be bringing a cross to the chancel. And I invite you, as you are moved, to come to the cross. I invite you to consider, where do you see love crucified today? And bring it to the cross. I invite you to come and ask your questions, to bring your doubts, to bring your pain and your grief to the cross, to the one who knows us intimately, who knows the breadth of human pain and experience, who understands us. Bring it all to the feet of the cross.